Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Today's video is going to be a little collection update. I've decided I'm going to try and just do these whenever I get new deliveries now, even if they're only very short videos. Because I don't know when I'm going to get the deliveries and I want to make sure that there's enough content on the channel. So I'm going to start doing those videos I mentioned, which are my top 10 films from each year. That will start next week. But these are some of the films that have been delivered over the last week. Some of them I've watched. I watched 4 of them. The rest I haven't got because they've come over the last 2 days. There are more due to come. I will show you them next week. And as I say, I'm just going to kind of just make a video as and when I feel is necessary. So let's get started. And the first film is Havana, which is a Robert Redford film. Well, it's a film with Robert Redford starring in it. It's a Sidney Pollack film. I believe this was their final collaboration together. They did quite a lot of films together. They did The Way We Were. I believe Jeremiah Johnson was also a Sidney Pollack film. The Electric Horseman, and obviously Out of Africa, which won a lot of Oscars. And then this was the last one. It was a very good drama. Basically just set in the late 50s in Havana when the revolution is kind of coming to a height, coming to an end, whatever you want to call it. And Robert Redford's character is a poker player that's just living in Havana, and he comes across a very a woman that he finds alluring. She's married to a revolutionary that goes missing. Yeah, great film. Can definitely recommend that one. Next up, we have an imprint film, The Border, starring Jack Nicholson. Starting to get some imprint films that look interesting to me. Got this one for £10, so pretty cheap. And it, as a first imprint watch, didn't impress me overall. It was okay. It wasn't anything great. I will admit I did fall asleep in the middle. So I did miss whatever went on in the middle. But I picked it back up again at the end. The end was entertaining, quite tense. The story overall was interesting. I thought Jack Nicholson was really good. Harvey Keitel was in it, but he didn't have a great presence in the film. It's definitely an indie film, definitely a B movie. Is it worth a watch? Yes, but I would say stream it. It's not worth buying. I wouldn't say necessarily. It's probably just a one-time watch. I will keep it in the collection because I will give it another go at some point. Because obviously I did miss the bit in the middle, but it was okay. It was entertaining. Then we have one which came yesterday. Watched it as soon as it came. One that I've wanted to watch for a while, and that is Blue Bayou, which is a film written, directed, and starring Justin Chon and co-starring Alicia Vikander. So I'll give you the basic plot. It's about a Korean adoptee, played by Justin Chon, Antonio, who lives in Louisiana. He's been there his whole life since he was 3 when he came over from Korea. He's married to Alicia Vikander, who's the love of his life, and he shares. This is his stepdaughter, who is basically he's adopted his daughter. And they're expecting another child on the way, and he's just trying to make his family the best life possible, and trying to find out, well, basically, he's facing being deported, and he's got proof that he's basically an American citizen, and it is his home, is his country. He's been there all of his life, but there's like a loophole that states that he can be deported. This film, it absolutely devastated me at the end. One of the most heartbreaking ends to a film, and I wouldn't say overall the film was one of my favourites. It's an incredible film. I think it's a very good film, very powerful watch. The cinematography is just amazing, but the end had me in tears. It's not the end you're expecting, but it's a fitting ending to this story. It just highlights the message of this story, and it's just a great piece of cinema in my opinion. I got this very cheap on Amazon. If you've not seen it, of all of these, this and the next one I highly recommend. If you've not got it, one of my highest recommendations. One of the biggest surprises of the year, Blue Biome. And then this one, which I had a feeling I would really enjoy, based off the cast and just of what the film's about. This is now, I will say, one of my favourite films of all time. First time watching 2 nights ago. Love this film. And that is True Romance on 4K. If you've not seen this film, it's a must-watch film, in my opinion. One of the best films of the 90s. As I say, it is now one of my favourite films of all time. You've just got great characters in this film. The script is just... It's a perfect script from Tarantino. And you just... Each character, although not every character gets a lot of screen time, they really shine. And the dialogue in this is just... It's just outstanding. The way that this script was written, just the way that the film was directed, the acting in the film, the music in the film, the cinematography. It is just an outstanding piece of cinema. The story, even though it is, in a sense, quite a thin story, it's a story that you probably have seen before, in a way. But the way that they made this film, it's just a very special film. And I was expecting to like it, but not as much as I did. And if you've not seen True Romance, watch it. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore. If you've not seen it, this edition is beautiful. It's £15 on Amazon at the moment. If you've not got this in your collection, it's a must-have 4K in the collection. It looked beautiful. I can't go against any other copy because this is the first time I've seen it. But yeah, True Romance, outstanding film. And then the rest of the ones that I've not seen yet, they're in my watch list. I will try and get these watched over the next week. I may even start posting my reviews on Letterboxd again. So if you do follow me over on Letterboxd, check out. I may have some reviews up. Might start getting into that again. I will try and link my Letterboxd down below. I will link it down below. So look for that down below if you're interested in seeing reviews. I've done lots of reviews in the past. I did stop about a year ago, but I may start writing some again. Because there are lots of films that I have strong opinions on that I want to talk about that I don't necessarily always get to talk about on the channel. So next up we have a film that I've heard many good things about. Earned an Oscar for Jodie Foster, I believe, and that is The Accused, also starring Kelly McGillis. I don't know too much. I've heard that this is quite a tough subject, quite hard to watch. I don't know too much about the rest of the film. I've just heard that something happens at the start of the film that is kind of the basis of the whole of the plot, basically. But it's one that I love. Films from the 80s. I really like Jodie Foster, and as I say, I've heard this is a great film. She won an Oscar for it, so I'm definitely interested in checking it out very soon. Then we have The Electric Life of Louis Wayne, which is a true story about an artist played by Benedict Cumberbatch called Louis Wayne in the early 1900s, late 1800s, who was famous for drawing cats and it was quite quirky, and I believe this is quite a quirky film. You've got a great British supporting cast along with Benedict Cumberbatch. You also have Claire Foy, who's on the front cover, and you've got Olivia Colman, who narrates it. Andrea Riseborough, Toby Jones, Sharon Rooney, Hayley Squires, Adil Atkar, Sophia Di Martino, Richard Ayoade. I think Taika Waititi's got a bit of part in this as well. There are others, but I can't remember. I know there are others in this film that appear. I can't remember. I've not seen it. I've just seen the trailer, and it looked right up my street. So I'm very happy to have that, so I can give that a watch. Next up is an A24 film I've heard really good things about. Came out just under a year ago. And the cast, if you'd have asked me about the cast a year ago, I didn't know. I probably just know the two, maybe three of them. Now, over the last year, I think each of these cast members have kind of risen to fame, and I know them all now. And that is Bodies, 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 which stars Amanda Stenberg, Maria Baklova, Myhela Herald, I believe is how you pronounce her name, Chase Sue Wonders, and Rachel Sennett, and Lee Pace and Pete Davidson. Yeah, I don't know too much. I think this is like a black comedy horror slasher film of sorts. But as I say, I've heard very good things about this, so this is one that I shall be delving into relatively soon. Next up is one that came quite battered in a battered case, but it's one that was expensive for quite a while, which I don't know why, because it's just a standard Blu-ray, standard film. But one that I was interested in seeing when, because I remember it being at the cinema, but I never got to see it. And that is The Outfit, which stars Mark Rylance, and you also have Zoe Deutsch, Johnny Flynn, Dylan O'Brien, Nicky Akuma Bird, and Simon Russell Beale. And it's like kind of a gangster film about a tailor who's basically he lets members of the mob, different gangs, use his shop to get messages between each other and just to do shady things. And one night, he's basically stuck, and he's got to help them, two of the groups, in order for him to survive. That's the basic plot, I think. It's in a nice black case as well. It's just a shame that it's come damaged, but it was second hand, and it was still a good price, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah, I look forward to checking that one out. Then we have Mothering Sunday, which came out about 2 years ago, set in the 20s. I think it's like an erotic love story drama, but it's got a very good cast. You've got Colin Firth, Olivia Colman, Josh O'Connor, Glenda Jackson's in it. Just looking, no one else I really recognise. It's a British film. I do like British films, and it was very cheap again. So I'm definitely interested in checking this one out. Then we have a sequel that didn't live up to the original, but was still very entertaining. I still had a fun time with this. Not a patch on the original in my opinion, and probably most opinions, and that is Coming to America, obviously with Eddie Murphy. As I say, it's not a patch on the original, but I still had fun with it for what it was. I wasn't a big fan of them focusing on being in Zamunda more than in New York, because I think that was one of the strong parts of the original one, because he is like a fish out of water. And I think they could have played with that a bit more in this one. He is in New York a bit, but not as much as I would have liked. Basically, everyone from the first one's back, alongside new people like Wesley Snipes, Tracy Morgan, and Leslie Jones. I'm not a big fan of Leslie Jones, I will admit, and she didn't do much for me in this film. She wasn't very funny. Tracy Morgan I like. I thought he was quite good in the film. And Wesley Snipes was really funny in the film as well. But yeah, it was good, as I say, but not as good as the original. And then three that came today under the Dazzler Media label. First one we have is Voyagers, which is a sci-fi thriller directed by Neil Berger, who did Limitless. I've heard very interesting mixed things about this one. It's got Colin Farrell and Ty Sheridan, Lily Rose Depp, Fionn Whitehead. It's basically about children who are raised on a spaceship. They don't know anything else. They're raised a certain way up until they're like teenagers, early adults, and they find out a secret, and it makes them see clearer, shall we say. Um, that's all I know about that one, really. Just realised I'm putting these on the wrong tile. Next up, we have Wolf, which is a film that stars George Mackay, Lily Rose Depp again, and Paddy Considine. This looks very interesting, which is one of the reasons I bought it. The concept is there's a group of people specifically focusing on George Mackay's character. He thinks he's a wolf trapped in a human body, and it's basically set around a clinic where they're trying to be treated. Paddy Considine plays someone called the Zookeeper, who's obviously like their head doctor, therapist. And he kind of falls in love with Lily Rose Depp's character, from what I understand, and things go wrong. That's all I know, but it's one I'm definitely interested in checking out. And the final one, another A24 film that I think I'll probably watch tonight because it looks very funny and I have heard very good things about it. And that is Red Rocket, which is from director Sean Baker, who also did the Florida Project, which I haven't seen yet but want to watch. This stars Simon Rex, who was in a film not that long ago, but I can't remember what film it was. I think he only had a small part, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it looks like a really funny film, as I say. I did watch the trailer again last night before I bought it. Yeah, it's like a lot of fun. So it's one that I will check out tonight, I think. And that's it. That's everything I got in the last week. So a fairly sizable amount. I'm expecting a few more. Not too many more. Less than that. But still a significant amount. So I'll show that off when I get them all. I'll probably just wait for them to all come. And as I say, you'll see other videos from me hopefully next week. I'm going to try and start doing top 10 videos. Just trying to grab them all. So yeah, that is everything. And yes, they are upside down. I have noticed that. I'm not going to try and flip them up. There we go. That way. Now they're up. So that is everything. Let me know the ones that you've seen that I haven't seen yet. Give me recommendations on what to put to the top of my watch list. As I said, I'm aiming to get through all of these in the next week. But it would be helpful if you could direct me in what to watch first. But yeah, that is it for this video. So if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Comment down below, as I say, what have you seen out of that pile? Give me your thoughts and opinions on them all. I get back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment. Turn the notification bell on. That way you'll know when there's a new video on the channel. Because like I say, I've not got a schedule as such. I just post as and when I feel like it, which is not as frequent nowadays. But I'm getting there. I'm getting more and more out. That's the hope anyway. And that's it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.